hope that you get a sense of everything that I talked to you till now. Those techniques is something that I'm already doing in a very advanced stage of blogging, right at the very end. I'm not rushing in order to get tiny little details or those kind of creative ideas till this moment. First, everything that I want to do is just get the whole structure, the main pieces, the main ideas, the main timing working overall good. And overall, if you're working in a production, you want to make sure that those ideas and that main timing and the main performance is, let's say, is sold, or your supervisor and your director is already interested in it and it's already approved before jumping into working in smears, holding extremes, adding breakdowns, ease in and ease outs, because this part of the process is very time consuming and we're jumping into detailing now. So that's why it's important that, okay, first what we do is that we work the most important things. Again, working from the up, the hierarchy of what are the most important aspects of our animation. And now is when we get playful and creative in a different way, because what we've done is also very creative too, but from a different perspective. This is more creativity from the let's say from the movement already. That's why we're here. We're doing more kind of straight ahead. We're more focusing now in the fluidity and in the movements of the different parts of our body, right? So we don't do it that till now, till everything is more or less secured, settled, that the structure, the core of our poses is working good and we're happy with it, right? So everything that we've been talking till now, more or less, are like very important aspects or very important tips that I always do. Now, as in every summary, I'd like to talk to you about what other things I've been doing, or more or less what I do in this part of the stage. Note that there's like tiny little tricks here and there. I hope that I've used all of them. This is a very long shot. Lots of things are going on, so I really hope that I'm putting here everything more or less that I used, because basically all my main workflow, all my main things, all my main tricks and creativity, and let's say the joyful, or the part that I really enjoy, or the more creative part of animation, finishes up in this process. After this is polishing. Polishing is a different thing. It's a different mindset. That's why I don't include that in this course, because it's a different part of the process. And polishing, I don't see it as a part of like, it's not essential for me for animation. It's just one more requirement that some studios they have in order to deliver a shot or to deliver or to finish a show. But it's been already proved that you don't really need polish in order to get a good animation, right? Very recently, we've seen how Sony Pictures with Spider-Man, they have done an amazing work on animation without no work on polish, right? Or splining. It's all work on tools. So nothing bad against that. It's a different level of working. It's a different way of a different thinking, a different way of creativity. Not, from my perspective, not the core of the things. Like here, we're just doing the core of the most important aspects of the animation making. So yeah, after this, after all these tricks, I think that my pockets are empty. So let's go and explore my last few tips for you. Okay, so in this stage, I'm already starting to use offsets. Okay, offsets. What are the offsets, Jorge? Well, okay, offsets are those controls, let's say, that are on top of our main controls. Like, for example, I have the head. This is the head control that I have. Okay, and on top of this head, I have an offset, which is this one, this control in green here, that is basically functioning and works exactly the same as the head, but is not influenced by it, right? So that means that this is kind of like a parent. It goes on top of it. This is good for doing layer animation, something that we need to do on top, or maybe to correct, okay? I'm not a big fan of using layers of animation. Lots of people are. Again, because this is an art, everyone has their own way to do it. To me, I rather have offsets that I can choose in order to add layer animation. Offsets are also very good for constraints. For example, if I need to constrain something to my hand, okay, because I'm doing maybe I'm holding something to my hand, I never would use the main control in order to hold it. What I would use is my offset control, okay? So in case that you're wondering how to find the offsets in this rig, the offsets are under the hard control. Is in extra controls. If we show switch on and off the extra controls, those are mainly offsets. We have some squash and stretch control of the head and the hair, but you get it. So for example, here, when we have like a small tiny little details going on top of a movement that I already have, like for example, if I have a head shake, or a head shake on top of a movement, if I have like this kind of movement and I want to have like a head shake as I do this kind of movement, I usually what I do is I use my main control for the head to make sure that this is working good. So this is like, let's say we work with the primary control, the timing of this, so this is in the right timing, so I don't mess up and I don't do anything crazy about head shake. That's like a secondary timing. That's something that comes up later. And then when I'm happy with this movement, I go and I jump into my offset and I add those head shakes, okay? So this is, for example, something that I've done with this movement here.
And you begin to not even you're not even using your vocal.
Do you see that? How he's doing that? Yeah, done. That's done. Okay.
You're not even using you're not even using your vocal.
That kind of shake, I'm using the two different ones. So let's have a look. I'm talking about this, just a relief is here.
You're not even using your vocal.
So that is a specific movement. Okay. So for that, what I'm gonna do, I want to show you how does it look without that the offset. So I'm gonna grab my offsets and I'm gonna just mute it all. Okay, and I'm gonna show you the same animation without my offset.
You're not even using your vocal cords.
So you can see with that in this part.
You're not even using your vocal cords. You'll notice that. You're not even
I'm just making that hand movement because I know that I'm doing that, right? I know that I'm doing that. And again, this falls back into the self-observing, right? I'm doing that gesture by I'm observing myself, right? And as I do observe it, like, as I'm doing this gesture, don't think that I'm observing that I'm simply doing, if I'm just talking about my hand, I'm doing this movement, right? So I'm trying to get that first layer of timing first with my primary control, right? And once that I'm happy doing that, I just simply add like a tiny, simple shake like that in this pose, okay? So it's like just like a simple sum of things, right? One movement like that and the other movement in another control, just doing that, right? This ends up doing that. So very simple, okay? So this is the part when I'm started there to add and to work with offsets because everything more or less is looking good enough, so we can get very deep and start to get dirty with certain and tiny little movements here and there. So don't do this in another stage. Don't work with offsets before because it can get too dirty and very difficult to see, okay, where is this movement coming from. Something that is very good also to work with offsets is for changes. If you need to, for example, if this is not working good, this movement that I'm doing with the primary control, it's going to be very easy for me to change whatever. If I just want to change the hand pose, it's going to be very easy for me. But if I am doing this movement at the same time with the same control, I'm adding the rotations. If I need to change something later, probably I will need to remove everything and to redo it again, right? So this is also for future, making sure that if I need to change something, it will be easier for me.